Hey guys, this is OJ Light, and this is day 3 of my journey to a six-pack. If you don't know who I am a proud penis pumping gym bro. It's very obvious from the content on this channel that that's what I'm about. And today I just kind of wanted to talk about Friday, so I just wanted to kind of talk about how I manage my weight, right? It's kind of because Friday is like the weight day for me. So, if this is kind of, I don't think this is complex, but I got a very, I guess you can say, kind of mathematical way at looking at how to lose weight, right? So let me kind of give you like the my three-step process to it. It's very simple, very simple. I try to keep I don't want it complicated. Step 1 is to know how much weight, what your weight should be. Okay. In the description of this video, I'll leave a link to a chart, and the chart is going to tell you how much you should weigh, a range. It's going to tell you how much you should weigh, what range you should be within based on your height. Okay, so I'm 6'1", okay, and the range for me is the lowest I should ever be is 166, and the highest I should be is 202 pounds. This is all pounds, guys. So I kind of looked at that and thought, all right, let's get to 200 pounds. That's how I came up with my 200-pound goal. I don't know if that's going to get me to the six-pack, but I know at the very least that I should be within under 200 pounds, 202. So I thought 200 pounds, good goal. Okay, so that's really step 1. So check out that link, figure out your what you need to be, what you should be at, right? So once you got that figured out, step 2 is how much weight should you lose per week. Okay, that's step 2. Okay, that's step 2. And I got, again, I've mentioned him before on this channel. Alan Roberts has a very, very simple answer to this. I love the answer because it's not crazy. It is, you should lose 0.5% of your weight per week. Okay, so let me just give you some context. If you were 300 pounds and you were trying to lose weight, you should aim at 300 pounds to lose 1.5 pounds, right? At 200 pounds, if you're still overweight and you're trying to lose weight, you gain for 1 pound a week. Now, sometimes people do better, sometimes people do worse, but on average, you should aim to lose 0.5% a week. So, in a month, you would lose 2% of your body weight, okay? So, maximum, and when you really think about it in that context, in a year, you would probably lose, if you were on a strict eating protocol, you would probably lose 25% of your body weight. Okay, that's actually quite a bit, right? You lost a quarter of yourself. Okay, so if you were, let's use 400 pounds to make it easy. If you were 400 pounds, let's say you started off at 400 pounds and you made a decisive effort, in a year, you'd lose 100. Okay, that's a lot of weight when you think of it like that. So, 300 would probably be, let me think here, what would 300 be? 75 pounds. That's a lot. That's a lot, guys. If you were 200 and you went to lose a quarter of your body weight, that'd be 50, right, pounds in a year. That's a lot, right? So, 0.5% a week. So whatever your weight is, right? Let's say you want to be, get my calculator out here. Let me use myself as an example. So right now it's Friday, okay? And my weight sadly went up a little bit last night, but it came out to be 200 236.2 pounds. That's where I'm at right now. Okay, so let me get my calculator out. So 236.2. Okay, I'm going to times this by point. So 0.995. That's 0.5%. Okay, so next week, guys, the weight I should end up at next Friday, I should end up at 235 pounds. Okay, that's the goal. That's the goal. 235 pounds next week. Okay, next Friday. And then I might do better. I might do better than that. Okay, nothing wrong with doing better, but that's like, okay, I gotta go. Okay, so that's how I figure out each week what to aim for. So, now here's the question. Sometimes, if you've ever weighed yourself every day for a week, you'll notice that your weight varies greatly. Like they could be 10. You could like how did I gain 10 pounds in a week? Or I mean, not in a day. Or how did I lose 6 pounds in a day? Or if you weigh yourself on a daily basis, you will notice there's a considerable fluctuation within the weight. Okay, so this is how I get around that, guys, because I've even had it where I weighed myself just every Friday, and I'll be like, man, I gained 4 pounds. How is this possible? And then I weighed myself Saturday morning, like just 24 hours later, and I'm down 8, right? And I'm like, how? So this is how I get around that, guys, right? Because this frustrates people. This really angers people. First of all, I always weigh myself in the morning. Like I wake up, use the washroom, and then I weigh myself, right? That's literally the first thing I do every morning. But in terms of actual weight, what I do and what I recommend is you take the average weight over the last 7 days. So every day you will weigh yourself, right? Every day you will weigh yourself, and you'll write that down, and you will put that into the average of the week so far. So what does that mean? So let's just say you have your numbers for the last 7 days. You have your numbers for the last 7 days. You add up all these numbers. So you add them all up, and then you divide them by 7, right? And that will tell you the average weight, your average weight for the week, right? So then let's say the next morning you weigh yourself. Well, you go to your list, because you have your numbers right. You scratch off the last one, the oldest of the 7, because now you got a new one. You can't have 8. The oldest of the 7, and you do it again, and you see what that average is, and you just keep doing that daily, right? So that's what I do every day. I wake up, I weigh myself, I write down the number, and then I cross off the oldest of my numbers, and now I put that new number into the 7-day average, right? So you can literally it's a lot more of an accurate way of measuring your weight. So like I said, I try to get, so when I say I'm trying to get from 236.2 to 235 in the next 7 days, I'm talking about the average. I'm trying to get the average weight over the last week to that number, right? So that I hope that makes sense. Again, every day you measure every day, okay? Every day you measure yourself, right? I know you're not gonna have 7 numbers when you start, because if you just started today, you wouldn't know what the last 6 days were. So every day though, you're gonna measure yourself. Weigh yourself, and every day you're gonna cross off. Once you have 7, okay, let's assume you have 7. Every day you're gonna weigh yourself, and you're gonna cross off the oldest one. So you write again, and then you're gonna take the average. You're gonna add them all up, divide it by 7 every day. And that will tell you if you've actually gained weight or lost weight. That right there will tell you. So that's how I get around like the fluctuation, right? So that's how I do measuring. That's how I measure my weight, guys. Now, what do I actually do to lose the weight? Like, what are the daily actions I'm doing, right? We got a goal. I've explained how you got the goal. I've explained what a reasonable weekly loss is and how to measure it, right? But what is the actual tactics I use to lose the weight, okay? And I got 5. These are my five big ones, okay? The first one, guys, and I'm gonna go through them from easiest, what I think is easiest to hardest. The easiest thing I think get people to do, all right, is the first one is get 8 hours of sleep. Now that's an average. Some people only need 7. Some people need 9. But just get your 8 hours of sleep. Every night, the computer, the lights, they all go off at 9 o'clock. By 9:30, I'm out, and I wake up at 4:15 every morning. All right. Sometimes I go to bed even earlier, but at 9 o'clock, the lights are going off, the computer's going off. I'm laying down. Okay. Every night. Okay. Occasionally, once every 2 weeks, I'll go out salsa dancing. But other than that, guys, with the exception of the one day out of the 2 days out of the month, every day I'm going to bed at 9. Even Friday night, guys, and kind of pisses off some people. But like, if you want the 6-pack, and I want the 6-pack, you gotta get the sleep in order. Okay, that's 1. 2. This one is, I think, very easy. Also, is fill your day with fun activities. So what I mean by that is, so when I get home from work, you got an option, right, guys? A lot of guys, you got free time. What do you do with that free time? Well, let me give you some activities I do, right? These are fun physical activities. The keynote, physical. Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays and Sundays, I go swimming instead of weightlifting, okay? I go swimming. I don't really do, I know it burns calories and stuff, but I'm thinking of it as fun, okay? And I swim for about 30 to 35 minutes, depending on how I feel, sometimes 45 minutes, but I swim. I find that fun. On the weekends and sometimes at night, I will take my dog to the bike path and we'll do about a hour and a half walk, okay? That's another fun physical activity I do. I used to, I don't really do it anymore because I don't have the time to drive there. I used to do volleyball, okay? That's another big one, volleyball. I go salsa dancing on Saturday nights, okay? That's another fun physical activity. Do you kind of see the theme here? They're like they're physical hobbies. They're something you do in the world, not sitting down, that exerts the body. You need to put effort into it. So fill your day with fun. That's kind of a rule, okay? And some people have physically laborious jobs. That counts too, right? Maybe if you're a young guy and you want to lose weight, and make money, go be a laborer. Do something that makes you move your body at work. Okay, that'll help. So that's the second tip I got. Third tip. Now we're starting to get a little harder, guys. Just drink water. I heard this tip many years ago, and I actually implemented this right away, and I lost a considerable amount of weight just using this one tip. You should not be drinking calories, okay? Now I know we talk about protein drinks, okay? So I'm gonna just say if you do some weightlifting or swimming in the morning and you have a recovery drink, that's fine, but just one, okay? But basically this rule is to no pop, no juice, no beer, no vodka, no milk, no, I'm trying to think of other drinks that have calories in them. No milkshakes. Those are the big ones, right? I can't think of any other Yeah, those are the big ones. That's basically, don't be drinking calories, right? So just drink water. In fact, another tip from Alan Roberts is that most people are not hydrated enough, and he actually gives a particular formula for how to gain weight. It's a little complicated, so I'll make it easier. For every 2 pounds you weigh, so for every 2 pounds you weigh, you need to drink an ounce of water. So if you weigh 200 pounds, you drink 100 ounces. If you weigh 100 pounds, you drink 50 ounces a day. That's it. And the bottles I get, I think the 17-ounce bottles. Do I got one in? No, I don't got one in here. So basically, I did the math. I need 6 bottles of water a day. For a 200-pound person. 6 pounds of water. 6 bottles of water a day. So really, I'm a little over. I'm actually should have 7 because of my current weight, but that's just drink water, right? All right. The next tip, number 4. Now we're getting even harder, is weightlift. I weightlift 3 times a week. I do weightlifting on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Okay, I weightlift Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. I was weightlifting this morning. This takes discipline. This takes consistency. This is where we start getting into the hard part, because you got to do it. You got to do it. It's not like I wake up at 4:15 every day, guys. It's not like, oh man, maybe I'll do this. No, you just got to do it, and that's where it starts getting hard. This is where it starts getting hard, and trust me, it's hard, or it's just like even today. I had a couple exercises I had to put more weight on, right? It would be easy to stay at the same lifting weight forever and have it just get easier and easier, but it never gets easy. Like, it should never be easy. When I'm doing my deadlifts this morning, I've put on probably 50, maybe 60 pounds onto my deadlift over the last 8 months. They're not easy. They're just as hard. It's just as hard now as when it was when I was doing 60 pounds less, right? It never gets easier. That discomfort, that like, oh man, this is so heavy. When am I going to get strong? That never goes away, because as you get stronger, you're going to put more weights on, right? You're going to put more weights on, so that this is heavy. I feel like I'm at the same. You feel like you're at the same strength because the weight, the level of intensity you need to lift the weight is always the same if you're adding weight on every month, right? So that it never gets easy. This is where it starts getting hard, guys, because it's not. Trust me, I don't particularly like deadlifts. I don't particularly enjoy them. I don't particularly enjoy doing. I really don't particularly enjoy doing Bulgarian lunges. I just don't find them a fun exercise, but I do them. And they never get easier. They never get easier for me because I continue to put weight on, even if it's just 5 pounds every 2 weeks or 2 rotations. It's still hard because I just keep adding the weight and I keep sticking to it. And I don't ever expect it to ever come a day where deadlifts are super easy. They shouldn't be super easy. None of these exercises you do should be super easy. Okay. They should always remain difficult and painful to do. Okay? So that's the weightlifting, right? And like I said, this is where people start falling off. Because like I said, I've taken people to the gym. Like, hey, I want to start working out. They work out with me once or twice, and then they disappear. I had one guy who said, I worked out, and I got sore the next day. No fucking duh. And I don't want to do that. I don't want to be sore. I mean, that's his option. But like it gets hard, it's painful, and it never goes away. The pain, the difficulty never goes away. So this is where the weightlifting, this is where I think people start dropping off. But you got to do it. If you want the 6-pack, you got to work out. It's not that it's going to make your abs bigger. It's just the process, right? It's the discipline. It's the sticking to it. And then number 5, this is tip number 5, and this is the one I think is really, really hard. It's going to sound really easy, but it's hard, guys. Just eat meat. Okay? Now, I'm gonna be honest, I do add some green vegetables, but when we say just eat meat and you add green vegetables, that's not what we're not complaining about that. What we're really saying is avoid the yummy carbohydrates, okay? And trust me guys, I love fried foods. I have a hard time staying away from fried foods. Like, I love mozzarella sticks, I love pizza puffs, I love garlic sticks, I love fucking onion rings. I love, like, a lot of people think donuts are sugary, and they are sugary, but it's the fact that they're fried. I love them, right? Like, I would never eat hard candy. I don't like hard candy. But you give me a donut, you know, some deep fried, it's deep fried, oh my God. I love that shit. Pizza, I love that stuff. I love it. I love the deep fried breads. I love it. I love it. I gotta stay away from it, guys. I love it too much. That's hard. That's really hard to stay away. And I feel like the just eat meat, that's really what they're saying. They want to make it simple, right? Because the more complicated it gets, the harder it is to stick to. So just eat meat. Now, how much meat? This is the question. So remember step 1 when I said figure out what weight you should be? Like whatever the high end of that scale is, just go with that to start with. So you pick the weight. I picked 200 pounds, so that means for every pound of ideal weight, I should be aiming at in grams of protein. So I want to be 200 pounds, I need to eat 200 grams of protein a day. It's a lot. It's a lot. And you know what? If I end up wanting to go to 190, that might be a blessing, because that's 10 less grams of protein a day I need, right? So just eat meat, just eat protein. If you want to throw green vegetables in the mix, fine. That's not what we're talking about when we say you're breaking the rules. It's really but make the majority of your food meat. Protein. Eggs, chicken, beef, steak, hamburger, hell, hot dogs with no bun, ribs with no sauce, bacon. Just become a carnivore. Start eating that meat. Be that Tyrannosaurus Rex, okay? Be that Tyrannosaurus Rex. So that's basically, guys, that's it. That's how I manage my weight. I might sound a little complicated. Go over this episode a couple times, and if you got any questions, leave a comment. But anyways, guys, I will see you guys in the next log. Later.